Hey, hi. I'm Mahesh Jhavar and I'm a chartered accountant by profession. And today I've come up with a latest update with respect to the e-invoice generations. Let's have a look at it. E-invoice applicability has been changed with effect from 1st August 2023, and in this the government has now brought in the businesses whose aggregate turnover has been more than 5 crores into the ambit of generation of e-invoices. So I'm very sure that each business persons they must be wondering as to whether this thing is applicable to me, what is this e-invoice and all that. So all of your questions I'm gonna clarify in this particular video. So I'll explain you what is the meaning of e-invoice, what is the meaning of aggregate turnover as well. And with the help of the definition of aggregate turnover, you will be able to determine the applicability of e-invoice to your business. And in the end, we'll understand what are the consequences of not generating an e-invoices on your business. So if I have to talk about what is the meaning of e-invoice, I know that every businesses they are generating invoice from their respective ERP softwares. That is, they'll generate a tax invoice at the time of the sales, and they attach that along with the transit when the goods are being shipped along. That invoice has been shared across. However, with effect from 1st August 2023 onwards, you will not be able to share only a tax invoice that is generated from the your ERP softwares. However, you will have to also generate it along in the government's portal, which is called as an IRP portal, invoice registration portal. The portal will look like the image that has been shown onto this on your screens right now. Majority of the ERP softwares, they have already done an automation with respect to generation. Like, if you generate an invoice in your ERP software, an e-invoice is already getting generated, so you can use your ERP softwares. However, if you're not using any ERP for maintaining your books of accounts, then make a note of it that you will have to navigate to the government's portal in order to generate an e-invoice also. Now, you want to determine whether this new provision, which is going to get implemented with effect from 1st August 2023, is applicable to you or not. It is important for you to first understand what is the meaning of aggregate turnover and determine whether that aggregate turnover in your business context, whether it crosses 5 crores or not. So the meaning of aggregate turnover is that it is the sum total of the following, which I have summarized it in the form of a table here. Pull out all your taxable supplies, exempt supplies, export of goods and services, and if you are having a PAN GST number in two different states, then you will have to total up all those sales also in order to arrive at the aggregate turnover. So in short, first step is that you will determine what has been your aggregate turnover. Did it cross 5 crores or not in any of the financial year, which I'll discuss in the next coming part of the video. Now, how do you determine is very important, that now the 1st August 2023 is going to come in another 2 months. So you will calculate aggregate turnover for the financial years that is beginning from 17-18 onwards. So from financial year 17-18, you have to calculate what is the aggregate turnover. 18-19 also you have to calculate. 19-20, 20-21, 22-23. If in any of these financial years, I'm not saying all the financial years sum total, but in any of the single financial years, if your aggregate turnover that we understood in the previous part of this video is crossing 5 crores, then from 1st August 2023 you will have to generate an e-invoices from the government's portal as well. That is the applicability. So what is the point that is to be noted is that if your turnover exceeds the specified limit of 5 crores in any financial year from the 2017-18 to 22-23 years, you will have to generate e-invoices from 1st August 2023 onwards. So that is the one of the important points that you're supposed to make a note of it. Now let me show you what are the consequences if you do not generate an e-invoice. We look at the when we look at the consequences of not generating an e-invoice, it is like you are saying to the government that I have not made any kind of supply. Now, because there is a provision in place which says that every business has to generate an e-invoice, they have to generate it with the government's portal. If you do not generate that with the help of the government's portal, then it is treated as not a valid invoice. So now, if that invoice is not a valid invoice, so imagine with that there are multiple consequences. Suppose you're shipping your goods along with with the help of a GTA. If you attach only a tax invoice which is generated from your ERP software and not the one which is generated through the government portal, then in that case, that invoice which you have issued will not be considered as a valid invoice. So since that is not a valid invoice, the government, that is the department, will have all the rights to detain your vehicle, stating that you have not issued a valid invoice for that. So it is important that you generate and attach your e-invoice which has been generated through the portal along with your vehicle. Number one. Number two, if your vehicle is detained and caught, then as per the EV bill provisions, you may have to pay up to 200% penalty. Now let's say that in case, apart from the detention of the vehicles, if any departmental inquiry comes or etc., then there are chances that they will levy you penalty of 100% of the tax amount which is there, or 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher as well. Next, your customers, they will not be able to claim the input tax credit because the invoice is in itself not a valid invoice. In order for your invoice to be valid, it has to be generated through the invoice registration portal only. I hope this video has brought out you a clarity. If you have any doubts, feel free to connect on the number that has been provided in the last part of the video. Thank you for sparing your time. Mahesh Jawar signing off.